But I wanted to ask you guys I know Northwood is in the GMAC now, so a little bit of a different scene, but what is it that makes our league so attractive for outsiders looking at our opportunity? And say if Tech had posted the job publicly, which they did not, for an opportunity like that, talk about just like the competition, but what is it really about this league that I feel like has people just swarming to it and trying to get a job at one of these teams?
Because you playing in the best conference, and it's not even close when you look as to when teams in the GLIAC play teams from other conferences. It's typically the same result.
Yep.
With the GLIAC winning those games, and it's like bottom tier GLIAC teams going and beating some top teams from other conferences, or mid-tier teams beating the top teams from another conference handily.
Saginaw and Indy, is that kind of what you're thinking on that one? Yeah.
And Davenport going first game.
To
Nobody
Truman.
knowing who Davenport is, and they go and beat Truman first game. Like those kind of things. And you just know week in, week out, you playing the best. You're going to have Grand Valley and Ferris at the top every year.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, a down year for each of those teams is a loss, maybe two.
Yeah, I'm going to say a down year is just like not making a run in the playoffs, right?
And you're going to have a third and a fourth team who not too far behind, where their only losses are GV, Ferris, and whatever team is fighting with them.
Yep.
You know? And then you got teams, even the lower tier teams, where every game is not a cakewalk. You gotta treat everybody with the same respect, because you can lose at any point during the, like Davenport was undefeated and they was gonna lose to Wayne State until they made
had to come back in that fourth quarter,
in the final seconds. So it's just knowing that you playing the best ball in Division II, and that could be a quick. Not saying some people don't want to come here and have coach here for 40 years, but some people have aspirations. That could be something that could really jumpstart your career.
Yeah,
like
something on a resume, right?
I feel like GV coach probably going to go to Western Michigan.
Mitchell, you're talking about Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because it's like, now you go FBS. You go from Division II to FBS. Don't nobody want to coach? I ain't going to say that. I don't know what his heart want to do. But or a Ferris coach.
Hey, whatever your opinion, man.
Either one of them, I feel like they're going to be probably top candidates for that Western job. Any job in the MAC, really.
I mean, talk about those are two guys that are already super familiar with Western Michigan, with Grand Valley and Ferris, both on the western side of the state. So, the area is familiar to them. Obviously, the recruiting, like when you get to that FBS level, not as much of your recruiting comes from that local area. You're going to outsource to a lot of different areas and let your coaches do a lot of that recruiting for you. But still, it helps certainly to have someone familiar with that area and the dynamic of, potentially the university there.
And then so say they both go take a job at an FBS level.
Yep.
Think about the coaches that Ferris and GV would bring in.
Just due to that.
They would be bringing OCs from maybe FBS schools.
Yeah.
OCs, DCs, coaches from FBS schools.
Anybody, bro.
Yeah.
To come coach at Division II.
Yeah, to be the head guy, you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Agreed.
And that's a testament to just how ball is played in the GLIAC.
SEC of D2?
For sure. I don't even know if it's a Big Ten.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's it's us and then everybody else. It's the GLIAC versus the field every year.
I like that. And obviously you have teams that go and make runs, right?
Shit, bro.
We have teams that go and make runs from other leagues, but like you said, year in, year out, you're going to get a couple teams from this.
We got Bama and Georgia.
Yeah.
And every couple years we got a Florida and then a Texas A&M and a LSU and a Ole Miss. They in the ACC gang. So
I think you're right. I think it's a great comparison because you got a team, you got a mid-tier, right? You'd call those teams are mid-tier right now in their stage of their programs that all of a sudden they go out on the road and get some big wins, and their only losses are in an SEC championship against a Bama or a Georgia or during the regular season when they play those teams.
I feel like they got to get rid of the regions. If it was no regions and it was just a bracket, it would be GV versus Ferris in the championship.
That's a very interesting point because, you have a lot of talent, especially in our region, whatever the super region it is.
Our region was loaded.
I mean, Northwest Missouri State, and then you look at Pitt State as well. These teams are
GV, Ferris?
ridiculous. We already talked about GV and Ferris, so I'm talking about.
You feel me? Those both undefeated teams.
Yeah, and you saw those games.
That you play in the second round.
It was 13-8. 13-8 and
14-17.
14-17. Against, at one point, who were the number 1 and 2 teams in the country in GV and Ferris, and they barely squeaked by. At home. Both of them were at home and had that small of a
So,
margin
like, does
of
it
victory.
even get harder, after Ferris and
That's a
GV?
good question, and that's an argument that's made for a lot of things. I think a great example of that too is we can go over to like the women's soccer world. Like GV is a powerhouse in women's soccer. They've won, I think, like 4 of the last 5 national champions. It's something absurd. It might not be that many, but it's something absurd. So when they were upset by Ferris in, I believe, the second round of the playoffs this year, guess who's all the way to Seattle in like the national semifinals?
Yeah, Ferris.
Ferris, because they beat the juggernaut. Not to say that every game after that is a cakewalk. These are still playoff teams, but you're not playing the Alabama of D2 women's college soccer. So, I mean, that's probably the best analogy I can make. So, it'll be really interesting to see after this game. You would hope that whatever team comes out on top just makes
It's like
a run.
Michigan beating Ohio State. So now they got to go play Purdue in the Big Ten
I think
championship.
that's a good example, too. Now, unranked Purdue is a different animal,
And then
though.
TCU. And then you get to like the Georgia. So then
TCU's a legit team. I don't know if you've seen them
Whoever
play.
win on Saturday in Allendale is going to win the national championship.